What's up, everybody? It's Mr. Bradley with yet another rendition of Confessions of a Married Man. Let's get into it.
Super Bowl goals. My wife in the crib feeding the kids liquid gold. We on a whole different mode.
Alright, everybody, let's get this video started. But before we do, let's go ahead and do a few things for me, alright? Go ahead and like this video, give it that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and hit that little button right down there. And lastly, and very importantly, don't forget to share this video. Alright? Let's pass this message along, alright? Alright, so this week I got one inbox question. And it was really simple. And it was, is marriage as bad as people make it seem? And that is a very, very complex question. That got a lot of layers to it. I feel like everything got a lot of layers to it. Now, most of the time when people say is marriage as bad as it seems, more than likely they've been talking to somebody who's either in a tough time in their marriage, or somebody who's unfortunately probably been divorced, or they just heard some really horror stories. And yeah, I will say marriage can be very, very hard. Does that mean that it's always that? Does that mean that it's bad? No. Is it easy? Not at all. When you think about bad, I guess that's a complex question, and it has again a lot of layers to it. So when you think of, I guess you say some pros and some cons, and I'm not gonna get too listing a whole bunch, but a lot of people are independent people, and when you get married, you give up a sense of that, and you lose a piece of that freedom that you had. So could that be bad? Yeah. Or you know, it could be good in the sense that you got somebody that you know got your back, but it could be bad in the sense that you bound to somebody for the rest of your life. Another thing people talk about is loneliness. You hear a lot of people, I know that's crazy to think about marriage and somebody being lonely. Like, how does that work? Whereas it can't. You can lose a part of yourself within the marriage, and you can feel very alone at times. Like, you're connected and binded to one person, but when y'all ain't vibing, you ain't got 2 and 3, 4 other people you can call. It's just you and that person. So if y'all ain't on the same page or the same wavelength, and y'all living in the same household, and that's all you got, because that's literally supposed to be all you got, it can get really, really rough, and you can feel alone. So again, so now you losing a sense of independence, but you gaining a person that's riding with you. You lonely. You're not lonely because you always got a person, I should say. But when you ain't got that person, it can get very, very lonely. You like to think of, another thing is, usually when you bring in 2 people together, you bring in, now you got not 1 stream of income, but you got 2 streams of income. So the money flow should be a lot simpler, right? It could be. Or that money can cause friction within the relationship and cause even more of a separation. So again, you got a pro, which is 2 streams of income, and a con, which money is a very touchy subject when it comes to any relationship. So again, I say, like I said earlier, when you're talking about marriage and is it as bad as it seems, very complex question. Then you bring and then you involve kids in this situation. You gain an offspring. You gain a person who looks up to you. They admire you. They look to you to be their everything. But then also, you're losing a piece of your partner, depending on how connected y'all is. You're losing a piece of your partner, because now your partner, that's time that was devoted to you, that's devoted to another person. I know that sounds crazy, like how can you be envious of your kid? But I'm just being honest with you. That happens. You're going to, now you went from maybe sharing time with your partner's work, now you sharing time with work personal, and a kid. So again, when you ask me, is marriage as good as it is or as bad it is, that's a very complex question. You also got to involve, now you involve in a family, and you bring in a lot of people together, and which can be dope. It's nice when you got people who love you and who value you, but at the same time, now you got people judging you or looking at the decisions that you make and maybe questioning decisions that you make, and especially if it's affecting their loved one who you have joined this relationship with. So again, marriage, like I said, is a very complex question, and it's all on how you make it. So when somebody asks me, is marriage as bad as it seems, or I hear, my response is always, marriage is what you make of it. You can see, it's just like anything. You can see the good in it, or you can take the bad from it. And don't let anybody preach to you that marriage is all sunshine and roses, because if they do, they lying to you. And if they is, again, they lying to you. I've never met anybody in a relationship or in a marriage that everything is always smooth. It's rocky at times. And it can be rocky for a long time. But again, like I said before, marriage is all what you make of it. So when people, again, I say this, when somebody asks me, is marriage as bad as it seems? I always say, it's all on what you make of it. I hope this little spat that I went on tonight didn't go over y'all heads, or it wasn't too crazy or long-winded. I was just trying to hit on a few topics. I felt like that was a very complex question, so I wanted to address it, but not get too deep with it. But anyway, that's gonna conclude this video. I hope you guys like it. Again, don't forget to thumbs up the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And until the next time, it's Mr. Bradley checking out. Peace.